Good morning. So again, I will talk about the German protests, the farmers' protests in Germany. And then I have a story about my oldest son. Right, at the end. Right. So, second day of the protest. If you have a chance to look at some footages from this protest, I recommend it. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. It's massive. And I was listening to this guy, for instance, a farmer who's part of the protest. He was on the A2 highway, which is the busiest highway in Europe. And this is what he said: "We are sick of lies. It's not just the farmers, it's the truck drivers, it's normal workers. Everybody is sick of politicians. We have no idea of what they are talking about. They have no education to tell us how we should live our lives." And this is the result of 4 years of trying to get in contact with politicians, talking to them on an equal level, but they will not listen. And now we have no other choice but to protest. And then he says, we have Dutch farmers coming over, Hungarian farmers coming over, Polish farmers coming over to support the protest. We are all united in getting rid of the politicians who are trying to get rid of us. I'll post a link to this. I also heard Danish farmers are crossing the border. Denmark is next to Germany. They come over to support this. It's beautiful. And if you look at the footages, you will see there's a lot of trucks and civilians, not just the farmers. Right. And then I looked at media to see the reaction from the establishment. Right. Very hard to find anything from media about this. It's like they don't want people to know. Right. I found something in Sweden, actually. This is state-funded media. It's a short notice. Right. And they don't mention far-right extremists. Nothing. No mention of far-right. I was a bit surprised about this. There was even a quote from a farmer. "The limit has been reached. This doesn't work anymore," says Farmer George, who is protesting in Berlin. Yeah, they just write this: "The German government will not withdraw proposals despite the widespread farmer protests in the country." And then I saw it in The Guardian. I sort of expected this, that The Guardian would write about it. And this is what they said: "The German Vice-Chancellor warns of extremism as far-right groups join farmers' protests." No, it's the AfD, the populist party in Germany. They are far-right, you see. That's what they say. And then there's a quote from the Vice-Chancellor Habeck, the German Vice-Chancellor. He says, "Calls are circulating with coup fantasies. Extremist groups are forming and ethnic nationalist symbols are being openly displayed," Habeck said. So this is the establishment, what they say about this. Well, I'm quite excited about this thing. See what's going to happen here. Alright, so then I'll tell you this story about my oldest son, because I want to congratulate my oldest son for something that happened. It's like a before and after story, actually. So when the pandemic started, my oldest son, he's working in a company in Stockholm. He's a handyman, and it's I think they have like 15, 20 employees, something, right? And he's got these work colleagues that he's working with all the time, right? And they are out in the field doing work. And during the pandemic, when it started, he told them about it. All of his sort of friends, right? He warned them about the needle. He really tried to talk to them, you see. And they wouldn't listen. None of them listened. And I think some of them ridiculed him for it, you see. And called him names, maybe, but he didn't get any response from these guys. So that's the before part of this story. Now we move forward. And just about a week ago, right, they came back from the holidays, the Christmas holidays, right? And they all met. I think they were having coffee or some breakfast maybe. And they all met and they started talking. And they started to talk about how people are so sick, somebody had been to Spain and saw that so many people are sick today, right? And then they sort of all agreed that it's the needle, So now they all know it. Right? And my oldest son, he was sitting there quiet, just listening to this thing, you see. Yeah, I want to congratulate you for this. It's a fantastic thing to experience, of course. All these guys who wouldn't listen to you, now they are confirming everything that you said. It's great. So, okay. That's all. Be good.